Not using ChatGPT is hurting your college essay. Don't get me wrong, if you write your entire essay with ChatGPT and expect to get into your top choice school, Godspeed. But there's a healthy middle ground between relying on generative AI and neglecting it. In this video, I'll tell you how I, as a professional writer, would utilize ChatGPT for my college essay. First, let's talk about the use cases for generative AI. ChatGPT is great at brainstorming. For example, if you have a list of ideas and need help conceptualizing how those could turn into topics, ChatGPT could be great. Let me give you an example. Let's say I performed some brainstorming exercises and grouped my favorite ideas into these three broad categories. Group 1. Integrity, growth mindset, treating people with dignity, not pretending to be someone I'm not, and lemonade stand and the refund. Group 2. Music, hiking, winning the soccer tournament, Sunday dinners, and comic books. Group 3. 4.0 GPA, debate team, wanting to be a doctor, shadowing my dad. Here's how I would use ChatGPT to make progress. I'm trying to think of possible topics for my college application essay. I just spent 20 minutes brainstorming things that matter to me, my values, my ambitions, etc. I've grouped my favorite ideas into these three rough categories. Can you please provide me with 10 essay topics based on these three groups? Thanks. Now, I wouldn't necessarily limit my options to the first 10 choices that ChatGPT offered, but I kind of like number 4, and I might explore that to see if there's anything there. Makes sense. Now, here's how I would avoid using ChatGPT. But first, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Chris from Mooshly.com. I have an English bachelor's with a creative writing concentration and an MBA. Now I work as a consultant, but I've been a professional writer, and I've helped a lot of my connections improve their writing and get admitted to elite academic institutions and programs like Ivy Leagues, medical schools, and MBA programs. I frequently get asked for writing advice, so I decided to put some of it out there to help you for free. I wrote a very detailed college essay introduction guide I highly recommend you check out. Click the link in the description to download it for free. So you brainstormed some ideas and you used ChatGPT to help you come up with topics based on those ideas. How could you now use ChatGPT to ruin your chances of getting accepted? Let's take a look. Great, thanks. Now write me an introduction based on number 4. Now hold on a minute, what do you think, I'm stupid? I don't even know who you are. Everybody knows you can't just use ChatGPT to write your essay and have it be exceptional. Why not? People use it at work all the time. Because it'll do things like hallucinate information and say stuff like, as a language model. Right? Yeah, sometimes, but I want to go over exactly what this says as if somebody had turned it in, because that's not always the case, and a far more insidious problem is when generative AI output is ostensibly not bad. And I want to show you really quickly why the college admissions officer is going to be able to pick this apart, even if they couldn't necessarily tell it was ChatGPT. In a world where social media and societal expectations often dictate the way we present ourselves, the courage to be authentic is a rare and valuable trait. I learned this lesson during my sophomore year of high school when I faced the pressure to conform to a version of myself that wasn't true. It was during the annual school talent show, an event that promised popularity and approval to those who participated in ways that aligned with the latest trends. I stood at a crossroads, tempted to perform a piece that was popular and flashy, yet completely out of sync with my interests and values. In that moment, I made a choice that would define my character and future, to stay true to myself despite the potential consequences. This decision not only taught me the importance of authenticity, but also shaped my path towards a life grounded in integrity and self-respect. Right out of the gate, I don't care for this first line. It sounds sort of pseudo-intellectual and self-aggrandizing, and I think the logic falls apart with scrutiny. One cannot be authentic while aligned with societal expectations, and it comes across pompously to say the courage to be authentic is a rare and valuable trait, which from the first sentence, I'm assuming the author is going to claim they have. Then the author learned the lesson that what? The courage to be authentic is a rare and valuable trait? I feel like this exaggerates the gravity of the situation without earning it. I don't associate talent shows with events where you're supposed to perform trendy acts for popularity. Aren't talent shows where like one person performs Mozart and then the next person eats an entire bag of marshmallows? Okay. Look, it doesn't need to keep being repeated, but the author did not make a choice that would define their character and future by refusing to perform a TikTok dance at the talent show. And now I'm getting kind of annoyed. The final sentence ends with a pretty bad example of telling instead of showing, which honestly doesn't even matter, because by this point, I'm kind of inclined to not like the author. Furthermore, the writing throughout is somewhat formulaic and sounds robotic to me. It's certainly wordier than it needs to be, and it just doesn't excite me about admitting this student. So if you take one lesson away from that, do not use ChatGPT to write passages for your essay. However, you should use ChatGPT to enhance passages as you write them. One of the writing exercises I like to do came from a poetry class in undergrad. Write down 15 random nouns and adjectives. Next, combine the adjectives and nouns to form pairs that you like. One of those pairs is going to become an unexpected metaphor for whatever you're working on. Let me give you an example. Let's say I'm writing about sitting in uncomfortable silence. A cliche way to describe this might be, we sat in awkward silence. But let's say we did my writing exercise and came up with the following 3 pairs. Bright blade, sad guitar, fragile snapshot. Unique metaphors using these pairs might be silence. A bright blade sundered the pleasant atmosphere. Silence echoed in our ears like a sad guitar. Silence. A fragile snapshot of my fidgeting legs and John's restless energy. And you do this until you find some imagery that works for your passage. ChatGPT is a great partner for this work. It can give you 100 adjectives and nouns to play around with in seconds, and you can use it to brainstorm unexpected ways to describe things in your work. Finally, and this is more of a yellow flag than anything, sometimes ChatGPT can be helpful if you post your passage and ask how to improve it. Generally speaking, I personally find generative AI to be more useful as a brainstorming companion, but I know people who swear by using it to double check their work. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if there's anything you find ChatGPT helpful for that I forgot to mention. And don't forget, grab your free college essay introduction guide from the link in the description, and I'll see you next time.